Here we go. Welcome everybody to the People's Disclosure Movement and People's Love Alliance webinar of October 9, 2021. I'm Costa Macris, and I'm from etletstalk.com, which I founded in 2012. And I want to thank everybody for showing up here, whether you are an attendee or are a presenter. I would say that after we're done recording here, we will archive this program. So I encourage people to share it on social media and with your networks, because basically this program is designed, this webinar is designed to really showcase what our wonderful ET Contact CE-5 community is doing and producing. Before we get started with the presenters, I want to give a quick summary of the People's Disclosure Movement and the People's Love Alliance for people who are new to these concepts. There's a lot of you out there, by the thousands and the millions in the great world, who are wanting to hear about this, and this is one of the many efforts ongoing to familiarize a general public more with the ET Contact that etletstalk.com and all of your other networks and yourselves are doing. We're a growing movement. And to that point, the People's Disclosure Movement was founded by me in 2010 when my star friends asked that I and my allies create as many ET Contact teams as possible in as many places as possible, as quickly as possible. They said that this would give them permission in many cities around the world to show up. And as more people saw them, then they would show up in more places so that more people would see them, so they could show up in more places. My star friends called this a virtuous circle. And when I asked, well, what's the point of all that? We can do that. It sounds pretty cool. They said that this is an organic movement that someday would reach a tipping point where so many people around the world, because of our activities, our combined activities, so many people around the world would have seen them, interacted with them, and wanted to see more of them, that hiding their presence moving forward would be impossible. And they stressed that the last 70 years of government and authority of institutions covering this up and calling us crazy, etc., are over. The future belongs to us, because in 2019, I was informed by the star people that we reached that tipping point. And they gave me an image of a snowball rolling downhill. And those of you in the colder climates, I'm looking at you in Canada and Northern Europe and elsewhere, know that a snowball going downhill, if allowed to do that long enough, becomes an avalanche. And that is what our movement is. They said it is likened to that now it is unstoppable. And I really want to emphasize that to everybody and to thank everybody, because the contact we've been making since 2010, when we were asked to start this movement and to grow it, succeeded. We have a People's Disclosure, and it's only going to get better, because we're going to be alerting even more of the world that what we have been doing for many months, ordinary everyday people can do the same and make contact as we work towards becoming cosmic humanity. So the People's Disclosure Movement has succeeded. By my count now, 1 million people are part of this movement in various networks across the planet. And I would encourage people to come to etletstalk.com. The membership is free. You can join our network there and learn about all the other networks of people who are interested in this topic and advancing this topic of cosmic contact. So, wrap your minds around that. We are a huge organizing organism right now, cosmic humanity, and we're involved in the greatest human movement of history right now. We are on the vanguard of that. And as a matter of fact, another interesting statistic is that 1.3 billion adults globally are open to the idea of intelligent life on other worlds, and that we should communicate with it. So this is like a sweet spot of where we are. These are the people that we can talk to, and there's 1.3 billion of them. We have a lot of work to get to as many of those as possible. So thanks again to everyone who's participated in this movement since 2010 and is going to continue doing it as we engage, educate, inspire, organize, and activate more and more of our fellow human beings to start doing what we've been doing and to enhance it. The other part of today's presentation is about the People's Love Alliance. In the same way that we are reaching out to the cosmos to connect with what in essence are our star families, we are also asked to get our act together here on Earth. We know that the Earth is facing multiple crises that could destroy life forever, or give us the potential to launch into a golden age, which would be a process, not an overnight thing. So the People's Love Alliance, our star friend said, has 1 billion people in it, people whose heart has opened just enough that they are able to conceive of something outside their own selfish interest, of a better life for their group, their nation, their planet. And so that's a huge number again. And that Love Alliance is not really reflected in the mass media. And that's my message as well to people who are encountering this for the first time. We are asked to create the future that we want. And knowing that we have 1 billion hearts out there that in potential want a better planet, want to survive and want to thrive, that should be something that inspires us. And that's what the People's Love Alliance is about. If you come to Good News Every Day, which is a Facebook group, if you're on Facebook, and not everyone is, you can see examples of people making posts from around the world where human beings are behaving well, where out of acts of kindness and compassion, they're making lives better for their neighbors, whether it's in their families, in a village, in their country, around the world. And that's what we need more of. The mass media will continue to reflect the old world that's passing away of greed and violence, hatred, division, while we are creating the new world. And we have to become the media and start showing the stories of the millions of us who are doing all these acts of kindness that in their aggregate are really tipping the point to where we will survive and thrive. So those are the two things, the People's Disclosure Movement and the People's Love Alliance, that are integrated. We reach out to the stars on the one hand, to our families, and we also reach out to each other to solve the problems on Earth. Another thing, and I'll close after this, that our star friends said in 2010 when we started the People's Disclosure Movement was, do not look on us as gods. We are to be considered as elder brothers, sisters, and cousins. We are family. And quite in a pretty literal sense, and that's another topic for another time. But that's it for the summary. I wanted to dive deeper into both of those two things, the Disclosure Movement and the Love Alliance. But we have so many presenters that wanted to take some time at 3 minutes a pop that I wanted to keep this around an hour, if possible, to make it accessible to people who have busy lives. So I decided to give you more details in another webinar about the Disclosure Movement, the People's Disclosure Movement, and the People's Love Alliance. So the rest of this belongs to you. This community, you all have been doing wonderful things to get us to this tipping point that occurred in 2019. And I wanted to give all of you the opportunity to promote what it is that you're doing and to ask for help, whatever it is, of your community. So I've got a list here of people to start, and I'll call out your email address, and please just unmute yourself. And yes, I have a timer. I am a time Nazi, but I am trying to keep this to 3 minutes each because I really want this accessible to people, not to be a 3-hour webinar, which I wouldn't even watch my own 3-hour webinar, let's face it. But if it's around an hour-ish, that's what people can do. And I want to be fair to everybody. So the first person I have on the list is someone called AGVAC. Are you there? If you are, just go ahead and unmute yourself and say hello. And if you're not there, I'm going to move on to the next person.
Hello.
Is that you, AJ?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, AJ Costa.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, thank you for inviting me to speak. I know we only have 3 minutes, so there's a lot, and it's just too much to unpack. I'm a contactee experiencer since childhood. Started this journey seriously 9 years ago, and have documented all of my experiences, contact with otherworldly beings. And what I'm trying to do is get the word out there. I don't have a website, but I have an email address I'd like to give anybody that would be interested in interviewing me or seeing my work. I'd appreciate it. It's ajvac, like in Victor, at icloud.com. I just have a tremendous amount of stories and footage that I could share, and I have been interviewed by other researchers. Fairly familiar with this, the concept of interviewing. So it's just so much to talk about. Where do you start? It's difficult, to find a starting point to this whole interesting topic of contact, of dimensional and extraterrestrial and terrestrial. I mean, who's really
AJ, we've lost your audio.
Or are they terrestrial?
Here it is.
I mean, who's been here longer? I don't know. So that's always the question is, who's the terrestrials and who's the extraterrestrials?
That's a fascinating question. Yes. Yes.
Think about it. I mean, they've been here much more.
AJ, your audio is pinging. Your audio is going in and out.
Authors of our own story, our own books, and we're the prophet. Can you hear me now?
Better, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm in my car. Sorry, I'm just in my car. So I'm not sure where I left off, but what they've told me, well, they've given me many messages, but one is that we're basically the most, so understand and know your book, and you understand what's happening, because as we all know, the universe is unfolded within us, because we live in a holographic universe, and you can access any point in space and time, and everything's nonlinear and everything is transdimensional. So to travel through space, you travel through time, and we all have the ability to do that. A perfect analogy of traveling through space and time is if you walk from one end of your room to the other, what are you doing? You're traveling through space, and you're traveling through time. So that's a simplistic way of looking at it. And what I've been shown by them is that everything that exists simultaneously. So the past, present, and future actually is existing at once. It occurs at once, like
I have to thank you. I have to cut you off.
Okay, that's all right.
Okay. Hold on. Thank you, AJ.
Sure.
Celia, you're up next. Please mute yourself, AJ, or I will. Thank you.
Thank you, Costa. I don't know if I'm able to share a screen, but if Costa, you could figure that out, I'll start talking and you can let me know if I'm able to do that.
I'm not able to right now.
Oh, okay. All right.
But
well,
I intend to try to do that next time, as a matter of fact. So thank you for reminding me of that. Okay.
Okay, next time. Okay, so so my name is Celia. I am a CE-5 leader in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and my group and Mark Koprowski of CE-5 Tokyo and I have put together a resource for people who are new to CE-5. It is called a CE-5 handbook, and you can get a free PDF that gives you all kinds of really practical advice, as well as dipping into, some philosophical areas of inquiry. And basically what we wanted to do when we created the book was, at the time, 8 years ago, when we started to make contact, there was no big, easy to read place to understand how to do it and what the protocols are, and how to address any troubleshooting that we needed to do. And so we put together basically this kind of CE-5 for Dummies book, but it also is a way to showcase all the diverse ways of making contact that happen all over the world. So we have agendas from all kinds of groups and all kinds of places. And I think one of the messages of the book is to find your own unique way of making contact, because we believe that that is the most powerful way to make a connection with our multidimensional friends. Another resource that I have, which I'll just briefly mention, I have a YouTube channel called How to See a UFO, which is originally intended to be like a big thing that ended up just being a bit of a hobby. But there are some really great interviews there. And I asked 3 questions of all the people that I interview for the Heist Advice series there, which is what is your advice to somebody new to making contact? What's your average CE-5 like? And what's your story? So there's some really wonderful examples of ways to make contact there. And then lastly, I also run the ET Contact Hub, which is a one-stop shop for diverse resources from all over the world. If there's a video that you thought of that you can't remember the name of, and maybe it's the Mark Sims one where he and his group, got incredible footage and demonstrated how to make contact, or documentaries or books or websites, it's all there. So you can go there at etcontacthub.com. And because there's so many people here that are presenting today, if you have something that can be included there, it has to be human initiated contact related. So it can't just be about UFOs or ETs. Then please contact me. There's a form on the website, so you can make a submission there, or we can start a conversation there. I might have to zip out of the meeting if I do. I'm really sorry. I'm waiting for a call from Samoya Shelley Yates. And so there's another project that I'm working on that I can help bring to you all, which is the Fire the Grid project, multi-dimensional extraterrestrial light beings helping humanity with guidance and advice. So that's pretty much what I've been working on and can offer to the community.
Thanks, Celia. That's awesome. Okay, next with Jeff.
Thanks, Costa. So I'm here to talk about this book I put together, and I'll put it up here. So it's Paths to Contact, True Stories from the Contact Underground. And this came out in 2012. I also have a website where you can find more information about it. I'm just going to put this up here, there, so you can see it. Okay, and on that website, you can find a link to to my chapter of the book, so that's my story, and also there's a link to the introduction to the book. So there are the parts of it are free. Otherwise, you can go to Amazon and you can get the hard copy, or you can also get the Kindle version, which is rather less expensive. I became a group leader in 2009, and my group's been going ever since. And in fact, Costa's had his retreat at my place a couple of years, and then a couple of year break because of COVID, and we both hope that we can do it again next year. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, if you see a chance to come to the Midwest for a retreat, you'll be coming out to where I live, and I assure you the ETs know where I live. They've been here quite a lot, and you'll see that in my story. The inspiration from this book came from actually I along with Charlie Baylog, who was helping this person, I met a star being who's living on Earth as human, and that meeting energized me so much I had to do something, and so I floated the idea for people telling their own stories of contact. And so what this book is it's over 20 people from all walks of life talking about how they got into ET contact and how that affected them. And I've had group leaders use this book as an introduction to their new members about what it's all about and what you can expect. Some people think it's a must read if you're in CE-5. So and Costa's story is in here too, and also Hollis. Some background on them. Greg Sullivan, who's leader of JSETI in Japan. Dr. Joseph Burks, who posts a lot on various groups, so that you can hear more of his story and how he got started. So that's pretty much what I have to say.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. Yeah, you guys are managing to pack a lot in this amount of time, so I appreciate that. I also want to say I've noticed that something I forgot to mention, which was you can use the chat box here to put your a message to everybody, or to excuse me a second. My timer's annoying. I need to get a silent one next time that just taps me on the shoulder. You can use the chat box down here to put a URL or your email address or a comment to everybody. And next time we'll be doing screen sharing, so that should be a little bit more seamless. Kevin James, I think you're next. Are you in the webinar? I'll give him a few seconds here. Kevin? Okay, someone named Churchill 15, Churchill 5. Is that person here? Going 0 for 2 here. Okay, the next person looks like Christina Moretti. Are you here? Doesn't seem like it. Anne Marie. They must all have been abducted. What can I say? T. Corridian. I'm on a roll here, but it's okay. Next is Mr. John Martin, I do believe. I think I saw John here earlier. Are you here, John?
Hi, Costa. I'm here.
There you are, my friend. Okay. Carry on. 3 minutes. All yours.
Hey. Hi, everyone. I've had contact for the last decade. I've used music as my mode of contact, and I've had literally daily interactions with our star family, including last night, which I think was probably the most incredible event that I've had. I have very fast energy intelligence as our star family that literally played tag team with each other. They would fly and they would cross each other 3 and 4 times. I've just uploaded it to my YouTube site, and my idea is everyone should project what they love, project what's important to them, and let the universe acknowledge your work, and you will be so greatly surprised at how quickly and how often they will come, and it's just a beautiful, lovely experience. And I have a website, John Martin UFO and ET Intelligences. I left a link in the chat, and I just wanted to kind of pop in and say hello today. But thank you, Costa, for all your beautiful work, and I look forward to all of us getting together sometime soon.
That's great. And I do recommend John Martin's videos. He expresses so much love as he's talking to them up there, and they respond. It's a wonderful interaction to watch. So yeah, go ahead and put your link in the chat box if you haven't, John. Our next person is let's see, Alice Castor. Are you here? I guess not. Moving along, I-Earth Collective. Are you here?
Present. Thank you.
Oh, there you are. Yay.
Yes.
Well, welcome.
Thank you for having us. I'm so grateful to be sharing this space with you. I'm Shauna. I go by Red Feather Girl Alchemy Magic, Red Feather Girl. And I'm present here with Marvin, aka Mystic Traveler, and we are Indigenous Earth Collective. And we pretty much just co-created a space where we can explore, learn, practice different methodologies and tools to raise our level of consciousness. And we wanted to be able to share that experience with others that are interested in doing such. And so we practice these and host these experiences locally, sometimes online. We look forward to hosting soon our first local collective, as well as abroad. We will be launching a February abroad trip where we are doing CE-5 experiences over the course of several days. So we just want to be able to get together and co-create and collaborate on ways that we can best raise our level of consciousness, but at the same time, have a good time and have fun doing it. So that is who we are. And Celia, is it Celia? I love your resources. They're awesome. And I even have a Heist t-shirt.
Okay. So thank you for sharing that then. That's great. Hang on a second. Okay. Our next person is, I love this name, Champagne Training. Train me. Thank you. Okay. Champagne Training. Welcome. If you're there. Maybe had too much champagne last night. I don't
Just
know.
has to.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
My-
Oh, you are Anita then. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Anita.
So, hi. My maiden name is Champagne, and I'm a software trainer. So I put those two together, Champagne Training. So that's how that comes along. So, hi everyone. Ola from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I am helping people that facilitate CE-5, help them kind of get the word out, kind of like what everybody else here is doing, right? We kind of got plucked out of our 9-to-5 or whatever, and we started following this path, and we're like, oh my God, this is so cool. So I interacted with somebody named Sue Walker, who is an artist. She's been doing charcoal artistry of the Zeta Reticuli planet people from Pontel. They're Pontis, P'(NTI). And they came out with this, Inviting ET. It's a book. You can get it on Amazon, and I will put the links down in our chat. And they also have a website, firstofficialcontact.com, and I'll also put that in there. So this book here goes over step-by-step how to do a CE-5, things to think about. Like, for instance, pre-planning, the kind of things you need to think about before you even start your CE-5, like bonfire, anyone? Should I drink at those CE-5s? You know, trying to go over all the little niggly things that maybe you might not think about, just to kind of give you a heads up. And then on firstofficialcontact.com, there also are pictures, actual personalities of our ET cousins. They like to be called star cousins. They don't like to be called grays. We don't like to be called white or black or, you know, red or whatever, right? Or pink. I'd be more pink than anything. They have names, they have personalities, and we interact with them. There's an information station that is 2 miles underneath the Sandia Mountains here in Albuquerque, and they regularly interact. And on that website, Sue goes over the story of how she started interacting with that particular group. They're part of another larger group of ETs that are kind of helping us, helping ourselves to become more conscious and aware, and just to be good, kind, conscious people. I love their message.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, I have to.
That's all right. I'm a talker.
So am I. I have to always restrain myself. Daniel, you're up.
Hello.
Hey. You're muted. Sorry.
Now I should be unmuted. Hello, thank you. So yeah, I'm Daniel. I got into contact by way of dreams, actually. So I have a master's degree in psychology. I practice with dreams. I do hypnosis work. I've studied dreams. at a kind of collective, large scale way. And so I'm sharing some links. One is to an app, Dreamwell, where I've included, it's a dream journal app. It offers meditations for mindfulness, sleep, and dreaming. And one of those dream meditations actually is called Cosmic Dream Hypnosis, and it invites dream contact with aspects of ourselves that some may say are extraterrestrial. So that's a meditation offering. The next link is around Cosmic Dream Hypnosis to what I'm calling the ET or ED Contact Clinic. So those are my hypnosis or dream work offerings to support contact or contactees, including like missing time or needing to integrate. The purpose of that is to bring love, peace, and unity to an embodied state. And so that's the goal of what I'm doing with that. Third link is around the John D. Study Group. So it is an academic study and practice group relating to the historical work of 16th century alchemists who did essentially human-initiated contact on behalf of the British Empire to a race of extraterrestrial beings who communicated through a light language-like script where we find embedded in it hypercube geometry. So this is literally Contact, the movie, played out in this. So we're studying that. And the final link is Network Metaverse, where I'm working with Zenka and a couple other people here, like Costa. We're talking about bringing forward community software tools and collective intelligence tools and citizen science. So with that, those are all the offerings I bring here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Daniel. And speaking of your working partner there, Zenka, you're up, Zenka.
Thank you so much. This is a great call, and thanks to your huge heart, Costa, for bringing us all together and sharing your space here to kind of get the word out about what everyone's working on. So really appreciate your gesture. It's a great project. As Daniel's mentioned, I am here to support ET communities and networks to bring some tools to this. So how are we making contact? What is the best way to do it? How can we do it better? How can we share these amazing resources like we're putting in so that they're not getting lost on, you know, a Discord channel or in an email or something like that, right? So we can kind of pull them in together to one space to really extend the invitation to people who are going to be having their first experiences. One of the things we're working on and have been working on with Costa over the months is doing a map to allow you guys to find each other on CE-5 nights. So as many of you know, Costa does his thing once a month on the new moon, and tonight is the big night. So I'm going to share some links in the chat that will allow you to enter where you're located. So if you're in a particular city in Canada or wherever, you can say whether you want to share your contact information or not. And then you can also check out a map to find people close to you. We've created a cumulative map with Greg Heller too, who has pulled together all of ET Let's Talk over the many months. And so this technology is only getting better. We're looking forward to a new system that will allow you just to enter once, and then you can just really see what's happening. And we really think it's important for us to share what happened, right? So we eventually want to map not only your experiences for yourself on your own private globe to show your, you know, what you've been, you know, your history of your encounters, but also to be able to share the entire ET Let's Talk network on the globe. And then also maybe we could put the stories on the planets that they are from. So if you've had an experience in Syria or whatever, all those things would be there together. So we really want to tell the story in new ways, make sure that everyone knows that they're not alone. And I also run Exo Metaverse. We do 2 events a month. We're doing one about human design charts with a gentleman on Thursday. It's a free event. You can attend. We also have a membership that's $4.44 that gets you into all the archives. And we do citizen science. So this week we're asking you, why do you think, if you've ever used some of these charts, I Ching, Gene Keys, why do you think that your birth date is actually going to give us relevant information. So what does that say about reality? What does it say about our beliefs? How does that work exactly? Nobody knows. But if we come together, we can start to unlock some of these mysteries. So I'll share some links to the chat for the Exo Metaverse and also the map of how you can be part of the ET Let's Talk CE-5 tonight.
That's awesome. You're covering it all. This is data visualization science. You know, we can talk and words are wonderful, but being able to see pictures of who we are, where we are, and what we're doing, and our stories, even better. So thank you, Zenka. Joey, you're next.
Hi there, everybody. Thanks for the invitation. Welcome from CE-5 Tasmania. We are actually part of Australia. People forget that, but we're the island right at the bottom of the big island. And we have another island, so we have islands. Anyway, I am the facilitator for CE-5 Tasmania and the CE-5 Signet, which is where I live, field group. And our group is about unity consciousness, because we believe that getting together and putting our consciousness and our energy together is really highly effective. And at the moment, I don't know if you guys are aware, but all of the Commonwealth countries, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, we are really at a very high level of oppression at the moment. So I've gotten together, I've been invited to join CE-5 Aotearoa, which is a fancy name for New Zealand. And we are doing some work together, meditative work. We've got a YouTube kind of webinar coming up this afternoon in 5 hours time. I don't know what time it is for all of you, but it's happening on the hour in about 5 hours time. We are going to envision, you put our creative energy together to envision our new world, the world that will come after all of this chaos is over. And so we've got a group of experienced meditators who are going to guide people through what that world looks and feels like. So that's on this afternoon. I'll put the details in the chat so everybody can find it on YouTube. We also had a really wonderful experience a couple of weeks ago. We conducted a New Zealand hui, which was 11 hours long, Costa.
Wow.
On YouTube. We were all totally exhausted by the end of it, but it was such a wonderful experience. We had all of the CE-5 Aotearoa team talking about their experiences. We had Jimmy Blanchet talking about his radio work. We had Debs Shakti in an interview with Jeremy Cloak. It was wonderful. So you can also find that session, and I advocate eating an elephant in that case. That is little bits at a time, not sitting through the whole 11-hour experience. Also, CE-5 Tasmania, for the local people who are watching this podcast, I don't use Facebook much anymore, but I still have my group there. So you can find CE-5 Tasmania on Facebook, on MeWe, and on Signal at the moment. So that's about us, and lovely to see you all. Hope to see you on YouTube, joining in with us in Unity Consciousness to create a better world in about 5 hours time. Thank you.
Costa, I think you.
You're right. I had muted myself. I was thanking Joey and asking for Don Hardy next. Are you here? I guess not. Next up after her is someone called WM Lady Hawk. Okay, and finally we have Security Home. Are you here? Doesn't seem like it. We're done then. And in the spirit of keeping this short, so this is accessible to people in their busy lives, I guess I'm just going to sign off. And again, thank all of you for showing up and sharing. I hope to be doing this on a monthly basis for whoever wants to show up, just to provide this as a service to the community. I also think that I can take the chat here that is produced by the Zoom system and have it in text format so that we have a record of all the links and information that people have left. I'm pretty sure I can do that. So if anybody wants to contact me at costa@etletstalk.com in order to get this a copy of this chat with all of our informations, then go ahead and give me an email for that. Hang on a second. Okay. That should be it. Thank you, everybody, for taking your time out of your lives. And in the deeper way, thank you for everything you're doing. It's taking a global village of us to build this movement, give it momentum, and launch ourselves into the future. And you're all wonderful people. You know, much love to all of you then. I say goodbye until we meet again. Bye-bye.